Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is going to be a holiday look, but I'm changing it up and doing more of a challenge in today's video. I actually saw Allie Glines do a video like this and I was like, that is genius. So in today's video, I'm going to be using my #1 product in each category. This was so much harder than I thought because, I don't use the same thing over and over again. I mean, I have at least like 3 that I'll alternate between, and so it was really, really hard to pick just one out of, the 3 or 4 that I alternate between, especially the mascara. That was like so hard. Even after I was done, I'm like, did I make a mistake? Because there's, quite a few mascaras that I really like. But anyway, it was a really fun challenge. I hope you guys enjoy it. Without further ado, let's get into it. As usual, I do like to start with a primer if my skin needs it. And I think depending on the day, depending on what my skin needs, the product definitely changes. But I would say for the most part, I gravitate towards a hydrating primer and a pore minimizing primer. So for my hydrating primer, I do like the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. It's a primer and a moisturizer, so you can really use it either way. But since I have a really thick layer of moisturizer on today, I feel like my skin is pretty hydrated. So what I'm gonna do is just use my pore minimizing primer, and you guys know it already. It's the Dr. Brandt Pores No More. This is definitely my favorite. I've tried so many other ones, and it's not that they're bad. I just feel like I always gravitate towards this one. I always come back to this because it's definitely more moussey and lightweight, and it just feels super light on the skin. So I just apply a very, very small amount where I have larger pores, and then I also like to apply a little bit on my scars. It just really fills in and kind of mattifies the larger pores, and I feel like that's what really helps kind of minimize the appearance of it. So when it comes to foundation, you guys already know I have to pick the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk, because even though I love switching it up, and I almost always try something different, especially when a new foundation launches, I'm so excited to try it. But this foundation is just a very trusted formula. It's a cult classic. It looks beautiful on the skin. So if I need to use something that I know is not gonna fail and it's gonna look flawless and beautiful, it's definitely this one. And the shade that I like to use is 6.5. So Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. I mean, I've been using this for so many years now. I'm still very much obsessed with it. I'm gonna use my IT Cosmetics Kabuki brush and buff this all over. Gosh, it's been a minute since I've actually used this because I was trying all these new foundations that have been launching, but my gosh, this just looks so good. My earrings keep making so much noise because it's touching each other. Very interesting. The weather in LA has been so unpredictable. I never know what to wear. I always have to check the weather actually, because you think it's cold and then you get out, it's like 90 degrees. But I'm so ready for cozy, cold weather so I could wear my sweaters, even though I'm wearing a sweater now. It's literally 90 degrees out. Although last week was a little cold, which was so nice. Granted, I don't know when this video is going up, so it might be cold by then. Hopefully that's the case. So I recently got a facial, and I feel like the next day I broke out, one on each side of my chin. This is where I typically tend to break out. But I think it's because, I put a little concealer on and then I wore my mask, and it just always breaks me out because I feel like it just clogs the pores a little bit. There's no air circulation, so I need to mask tonight and let my skin breathe a little bit. I broke out right under my eye too. I never get that. I don't know what happened. I must have used like a thick eye cream or something. Moving on to my concealer, and I feel like you guys can already guess what it's gonna be. It's the NARS Radiant Creamy in Custard. This is just the best. I mean, I definitely try switching my concealer, and I have quite a few that I like that I alternate between, but this is definitely one of my absolute favorites. I mean, it's just so nice, so natural, still provides coverage. I feel like the thing I love most about this is how creamy it is and how blendable it is. I feel like a lot of formulas that may be creamy tend to crease under the eyes, and so this one just is the perfect consistency. It's creamy, but still dries really nicely under the eyes. It doesn't crease. I also love priming my eyelids with this because it just evens out the skin tone, gets it nice and prepped for my eyeshadow. Okay, I'm gonna apply a little bit of this on the breakouts. So for my setting powder, this was really hard because you guys know I love my La Mer translucent powder. I mean, that just really helps minimize larger pores, or at least the appearance of larger pores, and it just looks so beautiful on my skin. It does last a while, but it is quite expensive. So the second one that I really like is the Laura Mercier translucent powder, which is a lot more affordable, but it's really, really beautiful on the skin. It's just so natural. So I like to apply this on my larger pores and then also take it up to my under eyes and on top of my eyes. So this just really helps mattify, set, kind of prep this area so that all the rest of the products just go on so much more smoother. My lips are so dry, I'm actually gonna apply a little bit of lip balm. This has been my favorite. It's by Tatcha, and I saw like a viral video, to be honest, of this, and I just was at Sephora one day and I was like, oh, let me pick this up because it looked so satisfying. So then I kind of just remove what I have on and then I reapply the mask. So bronzer was another hard one. To be honest, I've already talked about this on my story, so I'll just let you guys know. I am working on a bronzer myself for Persona, and I've been using that one the most for the past, I would say, 6 to 7 months, just because I'm in the process of creating it. So that's been the one that I've been using the most. But if I were to choose one that exists, I'm gonna have to choose the KKW Beauty one. I've used this a ton on my channel. You guys know I really like this. The reason being is that I love the formula, but I also really love the color of this. This one is in medium. I just really like this. It's on the thicker side. It's not like super creamy, but I think that's what helps it kind of stay on the skin really nicely. And what's also nice is that it's so thin that you can actually contour your nose with it. I do change up my bronzer quite often, but this is definitely one that I would recommend. I'm so excited for our bronzers to come out. It's probably one of the most requested products for us, and it took me a minute because I just want it to be perfect, of course, and so it took a little bit longer than expected to formulate it. I just approved the formula. So now we're going into testing and then color matching and all of that. So it's not going to come out till next year because it takes at least a year to complete a project. But I'm so excited for you guys to finally get your hands on it next year. Hopefully beginning. We'll see how fast we can get this out. So for my highlighter, I'm gonna pick the Charlotte Tilbury Wonder Glow, and this is such a beautiful product. I mean, you can use this as a highlighter, you can use it as a primer. I personally just use it as a highlighter just because it's so natural on the skin, and lately I've just been gravitating towards more natural highlighters. I'm not into the really intense highlights anymore, not as much as I used to be, and so this is just so nice that it just gives you a healthy glow without making it look shiny. So this is just really nice and natural on the skin. If I want something intense, I'll use an actual like highlighter, not necessarily something like this. You can hardly see it on the skin, but I think that's what makes it so beautiful. And over time, you get more of a glow anyway with your natural oils. So for my blush, I'm gonna pick Terracotta, which is the latest shade from the Super Blush collection. I am just obsessed with this shade. I think it's so beautiful, especially for fall, winter. I used to be obsessed with Georgia. I mean, I still love that shade, but now that I have Terracotta, I feel like, again, for this time of year, it's so beautiful. So I just apply a generous amount on the apples of my cheeks and then kind of take it up. Because it has like that bronzy shade to it, it kind of warms up the skin like a bronzer too, which is so nice. So these have pore minimizing ingredients in them, especially for someone like me, you know, I love a good matte blush. For my brows, I'm gonna go ahead and pick my Dior Show Brow Styler. This is so good. I mean, the color is beautiful. The formula is just insane. This is in the shade Brown 001, and I've been using this for quite a while, and I love how thin the pencil is, so you really are able to create hair-like strokes. I'm so lazy with my brows though, you guys. I'm just like, every time I watch my videos back, I'm like, you could have spent a little more time on the brows, girl. It's my least favorite thing to do. I really miss laminating my brows. I just think it looked so good when I did them. And then for my brow gel, you guessed it, it's the Glossier Boy Brow. It's so good. I do have their clear one too, but for the most part, I use a brown just because it kind of fills in any areas that I may have missed with my pencil. And also on a daily basis, I don't actually use a pencil just because it's too much work. So I just use a brow gel kind of just to brush my hair upwards. And then of course, if I have any sparse areas after, I'll just go in and pinpoint, fill them in. Moving on to the eyes, and this is a no-brainer. I'm gonna pick the Persona Cosmetics Identity Palette. This is a cult classic. This is how the brand was actually built. It's still our best seller. It's the eyeshadow palette designed for brown eyes. You guys already know the drill. I'm still so in love with this palette. Like, I could get rid of all my palettes and just keep this and be happy. I love this so much. So I'm gonna do something very warm and kind of earthy today. So I'm gonna start with Audacious, and I'm just gonna apply this on my crease, blend it really well. Next, I'm going to pick up a Bombshell and I'm going to apply it on my entire eyelid. This is such a unique shade because it's still considered a natural shade, I would say, but it has that olive undertone, which makes it that much more exciting. So I do love this on the entire eyelids, and it's shimmery, so it's perfect for the holiday season too. I feel like my red sweater might be a little too much for this look at the end, so I might have to change that. We'll see. Also, as usual, a lot of my brushes are dirty, so I'm kind of working with what I have. Next, I'm going to pick up a Gold Digger and mix it with Sassy and apply it just on the inner corners. This just helps brighten and open up the eye. And then just a tiny bit on the brow bone. Moving on to the bottom lash line, I'm going to pick up Audacious again and mix it with Charming. And I'm really going to smoke out the bottom lash line. I'm also applying Fearless just on the outer corners, both on top and bottom. I feel like this is just such a beautiful holiday look. Then the key is to really blend all of the harsh edges, so always have a clean brush next to you so that you can do that. Lastly, I'm going to pick up a Goddess and apply it just on the outer corners because I kind of want this to go gradually from light to dark. And so I feel like Goddess is just that perfect bronzy shade. Moving on to eyeliner, and I'm gonna go with Plum by Persona Cosmetics. I know I use brown a lot, but I feel like if I had to pick one, it would have to be Plum, just because anything with a purple undertone really helps enhance brown eyes. So that's why I went with Plum. So I'm just gonna apply a nice thin layer on the inner rim. I think this video was harder than I thought because naturally I gravitate towards my own product because I did make them. It takes me, like I said, a year to 2 years to create something. So of course I'm gonna love it. And so I was trying my best to really be true and authentic to like what I truly use. I know we have our own highlighter, but I didn't feature that because lately I've been, again, gravitating towards more natural formulas. And so I skipped that. So this is truly like what I use on a daily basis. And I just, again, wanted to stay true to it. I think the only other thing is all of the products that are in development I always use just because, again, I'm in the process of making it. So just a little disclaimer, because I feel like I never know how people feel about me using my own product. Obviously it's something that I do because I create them, but it's interesting to always know what you guys think about that. So yeah, be open and transparent, let me know. Moving on to my mascara, and I feel like this was another really hard one because I do like to switch it up a lot, especially with new launches. I'm like dying to try anything new, but I think when it comes to something I really love and trust, I'm gonna go with this one. This is the Marc Jacobs mascara. I love all their mascaras. Do you guys remember the one that I used to be obsessed with? It comes in a black packaging. Loved that so much. But yeah, this was definitely one of those mascaras that in the beginning just didn't necessarily wow me, and then after using it a few times I was like, okay, yeah, this is actually really good. So anyway, I'm gonna go with this mascara. I would say it's definitely volumizing and lengthening, so it's a really good one. Another one that I love and use all the time is the KKW Beauty one. That one's so pretty. Hello. I'm gonna let that dry and actually pick it up with a spoolie, so let's just keep going. Yeah, I remember like trying this even on camera and thinking like, this is okay, this isn't the best mascara, and then like for some reason, I changed my mind. I think because when you first use it, it's pretty wet. It is a little messy, as you can tell, but once it's dry, it's really nice, and I feel like it stays on really nicely too. Okay, last category is the lips, and I feel like this is another no-brainer. You guys already know what it is. It's the Persona Cosmetics Honey Gloss with Rosewood lip liner. I'm just obsessed with this combination. So first, I use Rosewood and really line my lips. The liners are so creamy that you can actually use it all over your lips like a lipstick. And then I just top it off with honey. So that is it for this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and let me know if you want to see any other challenges or any other specific videos until the year is over. I can't even believe this year is almost over. I did this thing on my Instagram where I asked you guys to give me one positive thing that happened in your life this year, and I'd love to do that here as well because I feel like this year a lot of us were so focused on all of the negatives, and of course a lot of terrible things happened this year, but I also feel like if we continue to focus on all of the negatives, then we're just gonna put out negative energy and get negative energy back. You know, I'm such a huge believer in words having power over us. And so I think that if we speak something positive, then it's almost like an affirmation, and your brain looks for that throughout the day, throughout the year. And so it's always important to continue to find the good, even in a terrible time. You know, I feel like everyone's going through it right now. Not to get super spiritual with you guys, but I love reading spiritual books, and I love just really understanding the energy that we all have, that words have, that objects have. And so yeah, I'm a huge believer in it, so I thought I would kind of bring that on here as well. So let me know if you can share one positive thing that happened to you this year. A lot of people said they bought homes, they had babies, they were pregnant, they got married, they were engaged, something, you know, really major like that. But it could even be something small, like getting more in tune with yourself. For me, I think the most positive thing that happened to me was just a deeper connection with myself. That may sound a little silly, but I did find a deeper connection and almost like a meaning. And I'm just so grateful that I found my love of reading again, because I used to love reading, but before quarantine, because everyone's busy, everyone's got stuff going on, I just kind of let that go. And I am so grateful that I found my love for reading again, because it's just brought so much happiness into my life. And so I read every morning and every night, even if it's just 10 to 20 minutes, and it just makes me so happy. So anyway, this was the longest outro. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I love you guys so much. I'm sending you so much love and positivity through the screen, giving you guys virtual hugs, and I'm here with you if you ever need anything, and I will see you guys next time. Mwah. Bye guys. Has to be the I tried so, well, but oh my god, what am I trying? The most